Thank you, Theta Omega, for your kind video and for your invitation for Christians to respond. Your video contained a host of different claims, but I'm just going to focus on the central one, that free will is incompatible with belief in God. In reality, there is no conflict between Christianity and free will. However, when you think about it, you'll realize that free will is incompatible with many atheists' beliefs. In your video, you gave the example of the Titanic. You imagine going through history twice. The first time through, you take notes, and on the second time, you watch. Obviously, on the second time through, people will do exactly what your notes say. There's no surprise there. But you wrongly imply that this means that they don't have free will. They have just as much free will on the second time through history as on the first. This is just like watching a video on YouTube. Each time that you watch a video, regardless of whether you take notes or not, it's the same. You could watch that video over and over and over again if you wanted, and it's not going to change. So does that mean that the person making the video had no free will? Of course it doesn't. The fact that you can go back and watch them making the same choice makes no difference to whether the actions recorded on the video were freely chosen or not. There's no reason to think that videotaping somebody takes away their will. Similarly, there's no reason to think that the ultimate video camera, a time machine, would take away free will. People on the Titanic made free choices, and even if we could go back and watch them again, that would not change. At each point, they are free to make whatever decision they like. If they had chosen something different, our notes would reflect that, and each time we went back, we would see them making the same freely chosen decision over and over again. In conclusion, then, there is no conflict between Christianity and free will. Your example doesn't show that God knowing everything forces anyone to choose anything, any more than videotaping somebody takes away their will. On the other hand, free will seems to cause some interesting questions for atheist dogma. Doesn't everything run according to physical laws? And if it does, how is that compatible with free will? Don't these cold and unchanging laws determine everything, including our thoughts and actions? And if so, how is there a will? How can there be a will? The atheist says, perhaps we can get out of this. Maybe everything isn't predetermined after all. I've heard about quantum mechanics. It's random. That means that things aren't predetermined. Perhaps I have a free will after all. But randomness doesn't add a will. Everything random might as well have been decided right at the beginning of the universe by tossing an impersonal coin and running everything deterministically after that. Unless you're going to say that you are that coin, there's still no room for free will. There's no reason to think that Christianity is in conflict with free will. Your example didn't show that God knowing everything forces anyone to choose anything. Unless, of course, you're saying that videoing somebody also takes away their will. If, as many atheists do believe, the universe is purely material, with no spiritual objects at all, and it operates entirely according to physical laws, then everything which happens in the material universe is entirely predetermined by impersonal, cold, and uncaring laws. It's these laws which predetermine our actions. If our actions are completely predetermined, and our thoughts as well, then there can be no free will. And as just one final thing, I'd like to correct a small error that you made. When you were talking about the way that we were taking notes and looking at the Titanic, you implied that God is absent from the universe and he's not interacting with it at all. That's actually the opposite to what Christians believe. Deists believe that. They believe that God created the universe and then set it up to run like clockwork. Christians, on the other hand, believe that Christ holds it all together. We think that God is very active in the universe, from sending his Son to die for us, the Holy Spirit, which is given as a gift to every Christian, and also in the natural world we believe that God holds and sustains all things. And so to make that point, I thought I would read you from the Message, which is only a paraphrase of the Bible, and I'll read Colossians 1:17, which says, "He was there before any of it came into existence, and he holds it together right up to this moment." I hope that I've been respectful to you, and that I've answered your correct question honestly and openly. If you don't agree that I have, then post another video, and I'd love to see it. And why don't you post another video anyway? I'm always happy to talk and to give reasons for why I believe what I do. So thanks again for your video, and I'll see you. Bye.